Tune in to the Real Estate Roundup with the River Counties Association of Realtors. Join us every last Thursday of the month at 12 p.m. on Fiesta 99.1 and every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. on Mix 104.1 as we explore the latest in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or just love real estate, don't miss our expert advice and exclusive insights. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore the dynamic world of real estate in our vibrant River Counties community. Catch Real Estate Roundup and make your property dreams a reality. Welcome to the River Counties Association of Realtors Real Estate Roundup. And today on our show is Jonathan Kraft from Crye-Leike Realtors. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, thanks, Michael. I appreciate it.
The heat is finally starting to subside a little bit, right? So
yes.
Getting into that time of year.
Fall is here. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a good time of year. So today we're going to talk about your company and like our audience here to know a little bit more about Crye-Leike and just to get a better overall understanding of Crye-Leike and what you guys do there. So first question here for you, Jonathan, is obviously Crye-Leike's a well-known name in the real estate industry here, but for those that are not familiar, give us that brief overview for their company, the history. Just let us get started off there to help educate everybody.
Sure, most certainly. So Crye-Leike was actually founded in Memphis in 1977. So they're a Tennessee company. And we've grown to currently being the largest independently owned real estate company in Tennessee.
Nice.
And the fourth largest in the nation. So we've got a full service real estate experience, residential, commercial sales, relocation, title, mortgage, insurance, property management, auctions. We do it all. If it's real estate related, we can take care of it for you.
You got a good long history there, so that's great to know, and being the fourth largest overall too, that's quite an accomplishment, I would say, right?
Definitely.
So talk about the core values and mission drive that Crye-Leike Realtors, and how is that reflected in your daily operations for everybody?
Sure. Well, our mission is a passionate commitment to unsurpassed service.
Okay.
And basically what we want to do through that is we just want to simplify the real estate process while delivering the highest level of service and integrity that we can deliver. And our core values, we have several of them, but some of the ones that really kind of sum it up is trust, innovation, and community focus. And that's really what we try to do with everything that we do. How we treat our clients, how we support our agents. It means that we're responsive, that we use the latest technology to our advantage, and we're always putting our clients' needs first.
That's awesome. And obviously technology makes a major part of your business, or a major role in your business nowadays. So it's great that you guys are on top of everything too. And so what's the advantages, the clients gain when they choose to work with Crye-Leike, realtors, and the companies in our area?
Well, so we benefit from really an extensive network.
Okay.
So we have 141 offices, 3,300 agents, and not only that, but we also are connected with the leading real estate companies of the world, which is connected to 550 brokerages in over 70 different countries. So your listings not only reach just our local community, but they reach literally around the world.
Around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you got much a longer arm length just away from our areas here that you might necessarily think about, but people do transfer, obviously, and move into the area, and you never know where they're going to come from. So.
Yeah, and we've got a great reputation. I mean, there's just so many times that people will walk into our building that are moving here from other areas, and they're like, oh, I'm from Memphis, or I'm from wherever, and they're like, Crye-Leike is the only people that I would deal with. So they just walk in the door wanting to speak to an agent, just knowing our name. Name
recognition.
So, yeah.
Well, that's a testament then, obviously, to what you guys have built over all these years and decades, which is great to hear.
Yeah.
And great to see. So Crye-Leike size and reputation, how does that benefit the agents and the clients, right here in our own hometown of Cleveland, Tennessee?
Yeah, so our size allows us to offer resources that smaller firms can't do. We have an in-house marketing team that handles marketing things for both design work, printing, the whole 9 yards in-house. We have legal support on staff. We have lots of technology tools that we're able to provide because we have so many agents that are using them. It gives us that buying power to be able to do that. And that just allows agents to really focus more on their clients and not on how to find the information they need to do a good job serving them. But for clients, Crye-Leike, I spoke about our reputation, but that really opens doors. That helps, us find off-market properties and helps us negotiate better terms with people knowing that they're working with a respected name in the industry.
Let's touch on that for a quick second. Back up for 1 second. So off-market properties, just so our listeners here understand, what is that advantage to me then working with a Crye-Leike Realtor to finally find a property that is off-market? What would that mean?
Well, because we have such a large network, we end up finding out a lot about properties that are coming on the market that haven't hit yet. We have a lot of agents that we're talking behind the scenes all the time. If somebody knows of somebody that is getting ready to sell a property but they haven't yet, or sometimes we have people just call the office and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my property. If you happen to know anybody that might be interested, I don't want to list it, but I just want to let you know that I'm open to selling it. We get opportunities like that all the time, and that helps us to find things that you're not going to see on Zillow or Realtor.com.
Sure. And having that in your pocket per se, obviously that's a little bit of an advantage because other people are not going to know about it. So that's just going to be an advantage for me coming over to your office and working with a realtor to find that information out. So
yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense to me. So that sounds good. So let's talk a little bit more about the branch that you oversee, here right in Cleveland, Tennessee. And so what's the culture like at your branch? Let's start with that first and kind of go through that.
Well, so our culture is really supportive of each other. We collaborate a lot between each other, and there's just continuous learning. We're having classes all the time, both locally and at our corporate office in Chattanooga. So there's just literally every day of the week there's something going on that people can be a part of to learn more. In our office, we've built against a scarcity mindset. So, a lot of times I feel like there's this mindset that if you help somebody else, that's going to take away from what you can get.
Right.
And that's really not the case. All of us know, a large group of people that doesn't overlap with anybody else.
Right.
And so we really are better together, and we can help each other to be the best that we can be, and that doesn't take away from our business. It just makes it better.
Doesn't give me a smaller piece of the pie.
No,
right?
No,
yeah,
not at all.
And I agree with you. A lot of people think that if I help and educate somebody or get them to be a better, realtor or whatever it might be, that's taking something away from me, but it's not. It's actually enhancing what you're doing.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so I think that's great as far as having that productive environment. So as the managing broker, how do you support, how do you mentor your agents to ensure that they are providing the best service to the clients that are coming to your company?
Sure. Well, so I'm deeply involved in my agents' professional development and success. I offer personalized coaching and mentorship. I provide them with the latest market data and tools, train them how to accurately use those tools. And I really encourage work-life balance as well. A well-balanced agent is going to be better able to serve clients effectively.
Sure.
I tell people when they first, join my office that, these, sometimes you'll see agents post, hey, it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm writing up an offer. That's not helping anybody. The thing that I encourage is have times where you're just shutting down and disconnecting. I even tell them, for me, I said, at 9 p.m. my phone goes on Do Not Disturb.
Sure.
At 9 a.m. it comes back on. And I even tell them, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you got something in your head and you just need to get it out, call me, text me, whatever. You're not going to wake me up. My phone's on Do Not Disturb. But when I see it at 9 a.m. the next morning, then I'll return that. But that way you can get it off of your mind, because that's the main thing is you've got to have time to rest and decompress from the day in order to be your best for the next day.
Recharge your batteries.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's great advice too, because nobody can do it 24/7, and it's just not practical.
It's not.
As far as jumping into that, and like you said, your phone's on silent, so you're going to get those 3 a.m. text messages and calls, obviously, but at least they're not waking you up.
Well, and after 9 p.m., and really after banks close, but after 9 p.m., there's no such thing as a real estate emergency unless it's the house is on fire, and then you just need to call 911.
Yeah, it's not your realtor.
That's right.
Yeah, the realtor can't help you at that point. So.
That's right.
So the community engagement, obviously, as realtors, I've always heard predominantly across the nation, realtors, about 70% plus realtors will always give back to their communities. And obviously the communities are what drives everybody's business, for us to take care of that. So how does your Cleveland branch engage with the local community? Are there special initiatives, events that you guys are involved in? Tell us a little bit about that, of what you guys do to kind of help those around us that aren't necessarily just doing real estate, but other things you guys get involved with.
Yeah. So that's a great question. We're actively involved in several community initiatives. We're a member of the chamber. We have several agents that attend chamber events.
Sure.
We have agents that are members of Rotary. We are supporters of United Way. Our office generally, just with the agents in our office, donate usually around $2,000 a year to United Way through different fundraisers and things that we do. But we really want to build strong relationships with the community that go beyond real estate, but help our community as a whole. And we have a commitment to Cleveland's growth and well-being.
Yeah, and that's terrific. United Way obviously serves a lot of the others in the community, so with you guys helping them, that continues that to just magnify and kind of spider out there to more and more people that you guys can touch.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's great to know. And so how do you balance the responsibilities of managing a branch? While you stay active in real estate transactions yourself, so how do you balance all of that to make sure everything continues to move forward the way you want it?
Yeah, so balancing it is difficult at times, but it really requires effective time management and a strong support system. I've got a really good staff at my office that help me kind of take some things off of my plate.
Sure.
And allows me to delegate certain tasks that I don't necessarily have to be involved in, so that I can stay involved in transactions and keep a personal connection with both my clients and my agents. But really, it's important to lead by example. And so I stay hands-on in both the operational side and in serving clients. And in the example that I set, hopefully, like we were talking about with setting those times up with Do Not Disturb and everything, just making sure that, my agents kind of see how to effectively manage your business.
So also, by you being a managing broker and working in the business, then I would tend to say that probably even gives you that much more knowledge as to what's happening in the marketplace, as opposed to just sitting behind the desk and thinking of what's happening, but you're actually in the market. So that's got to give some value to your agents then too, I would think, right?
Yeah, it's more difficult that way, but I think that me being active in the real estate world every day, helping people buy and sell homes, it allows me to really stay up to date with what's really going on.
Sure.
I can help my clients better and my office better by doing that.
Yeah, because it's giving you that firsthand knowledge instead of the textbook, type of thing where you're telling people what's happening, but you're not in it to actually have that firsthand experience.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
That I would think as a realtor would be definitely beneficial to them, because they got somebody that's there managing the office and helping them, but knowing exactly what's going on in that marketplace.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that's awesome. And so supporting the agent's success. Obviously, without successful agents, an office is going to struggle and have that issue. And
sure.
So how do you help your agents stay on top of the market trends, and continue their professional development? So you talked about giving them market data and stats and that. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure, definitely. And, it's really important to me. I measure agent success by how many transactions per agent we have on average.
Okay.
And we have one of the higher averages in our area. And what that means is basically, the more transactions you have per agent, that means if you have, 45 agents like we do, if there's 6 transactions per agent, that means there's not one agent that's doing a whole bunch of work and everybody else is struggling. So that's really what I look at. But what I do in order to make sure that happens is I ensure that my agents have the access to the latest market data and analytics. We review that together regularly so that they know how to understand and how to apply that. We participate in continuing education, attend industry seminars to stay ahead of trends. I encourage my agents to pursue designations and certifications whenever possible, because every little piece of information you can get, and really learning information from several different people, really gives you a more well-rounded perspective and just adds value to the services we offer.
So the designations and that's just an extension of their learning that they have already taken, but to give them a better enhanced knowledge base, right, is what we're looking at.
Yeah, when you get your real estate license, you learn a 20,000 foot view of everything.
Everything.
But the designations and certifications can really help you dig into the details on specific subjects, and it really just opens it up and gives you a lot more practical knowledge to help on a day-to-day basis.
So kind of like doctors just having those extensions of their certifications and moving forward and becoming specialists, basically, is what you're looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
And which is awesome. And I got to think that definitely makes a big difference for the agents, especially just helping them understand a lot more things, because you're dealing with so many different deals and people that not two deals are always going to be the same. So
definitely.
So as far as tools and resources you provide your agents and help them succeed in a competitive market, what are some of the things that you guys provide with them as far as tools and that?
Sure. Well, so we equip our agents, as we talked about before, with cutting edge technology.
Right.
We have an advanced CRM. We have marketing platforms, virtual tour tools, just all kinds of things to make sure that not only do they have the data to help guide their clients in the direction that's best, but also that they understand how to use that data appropriately.
Sure.
So we do that. We do in-house training and workshops on negotiation techniques, digital marketing strategies, anything like that. And really the goal is that they have everything that they need to succeed. And no matter the market condition, there's always a way to succeed and to help your clients succeed. You just have to have the data to know how to apply it in different situations. So, yeah.
And CRM, tell our audience what that actually means.
Yeah, so customer relationship manager.
Okay.
CRM helps make sure that our clients aren't getting dropped through the cracks.
Okay.
It helps us to keep, when I talk to a client, I'm able to go in my CRM and I'm able to pull up the notes tab and type notes on what we talked about. So I can make sure that I'm not going over the same things over and over again, or if they answer a question, I'm not asking it again because I have everything there. It helps me keep up with the timelines of the contracts and things like that to make sure they don't miss any deadlines or have anything that could maybe put them at financial risk. So it really is the heartbeat of our day-to-day operation.
And definitely, so when you're doing that deal, it's not just signing that sales contract and automatically you're at the closing table. It's all the details in between to get to that closing table.
Yeah, getting to the contract is usually the easy part. Right? The hard part starts as soon as we're under contract. That's where most of our hours go into making that happen.
Home inspections and loan commitment dates and everything else, right? So
repairs.
Repairs. So having that CRM definitely has got to be an advantage to you guys, just to help everybody stay on track, because it does get overwhelming at times, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So from the client experience, so what can clients expect when they work with an agent from the Cleveland branch? How do you ensure consistency, high level of service? We talked about some of the tools you guys have, but what are the other things you guys do to make sure that they're treated top notch?
Yeah. Well, so we teach and coach on personalized attention. So it's very important from the very start of working with the client that we understand exactly what they're looking for, but not only what, but why. Why are they looking for 3 bedrooms? 3 bedrooms is not enough information. We need to know what those are going to be used for. We need to know what your timeline is. Are we juggling selling another house and buying another one? We need to know everything about that, and that requires, us asking a lot of questions and really listening into our clients to make sure that we're providing exactly what they need. So that's the personalized attention. We have in-depth local knowledge. Talked about our resources that help us with that, but that really helps us advise them in the right way. And we really, we have a commitment to their best interest.
Sure.
So whatever that we suggest or whatever, way that we're advising them, we're trying to help them reach whatever goals that we discover that they have during that initial interview. We want to make sure that we're keeping them on track with whatever their goals are. And we set really, really high standards with our regular training and everything. We want to make sure that every client feels valued, but also make sure that every client feels like they can let go of the reins and rely on us to have their best interests at heart and to make sure that nothing drops through the cracks.
And if it's not the most important, it's at least one of the most important things that somebody's probably going to go through in their lifetime. And, so it should never be taken lightly. Before we move on to a couple other questions, give our audience here email or phone number that they could reach out to if they want to talk with you and get set up with one of your realtors in your office, or what's the best way for somebody to contact you guys here?
Yeah, the best way to contact us is by phone. If you just call us at 423-473-9545. That's our office number. And if you don't already have an agent, we can help pair you with an agent that'll work best for you.
Okay, that's awesome. And let's talk a little bit about the market. How are we starting to see things? There's talk that interest rates are going to come down. Like I've heard from the feds, the day after the election, that rates are going to get supposedly cut. We'll wait and see if that happens.
Right.
What's our projection on the market? What do you see coming up over the next number of months that people should be kind of paying attention to?
The market has really been overall encouraging lately. Okay. For a long time, it was really just a stressful experience because we had limited inventory. We had ultra low interest rates, which was driving a lot of people to want to buy. And it was ending up in bidding wars, and buyers who had cash were winning. Buyers who didn't were often left on the sidelines. And so what we're seeing now is we have more inventory than we've had in the last couple of years.
That's good.
But also with the interest rates being a little bit higher, that's actually allowed us to negotiate more on a buyer's behalf as well. So buyers are starting to see things come back that they haven't seen for years. Closing costs being paid, rate buy downs being paid by the sellers. There's more inventory. So, if we go out and look at houses, it's not like, okay, here's the 2 houses you have to choose between, and by the way, they're both in multiple offer bidding wars.
Oh boy.
It's not like
tough.
that anymore. So I feel like it's becoming a more balanced market, and that's really encouraging.
And do you have any expectations on what you think, like if we'll see major cut rates in the interest, or or just minimal, or think they'll be significant enough? I mean, I know we can't predict it, but what's your thoughts?
If I was going to get out the crystal ball,
right?
I would say that our chances of seeing the 3% interest rates are probably little to none. I really actually hope we don't see them again, because that's what drove the prices to go so high so quick. And it really contributed to the unaffordability of housing here in our area. So I would like to see them get a little bit lower, but really I hope they kind of rest somewhere in the mid to high 5s, low 6s. I feel like that's a really healthy place to be. I feel like when they went up to 8.5, close to 9%, that was a reaction to the inflation, and so it's kind of a knee-jerk thing that jolts us into a halt, and then they gradually, bring it down to open things up again.
Right.
So sometimes, I wish they would just kind of leave it alone and let it be instead of messing with it all the time. But, that's where I see it probably ending up as somewhere in that 5.5 to 6. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have that understanding of lower interest rates are better for all of us. Of course, yes, your pocketbook is better. But as you said, it pushes inflation through the roof. So you might be getting that lower interest rate, but you're actually spending more on all your other stuff. And, I think that's where, you tell me if I'm wrong, but that's where a lot of people just think, hey, let's get that rate down. But 5 or 6% is a healthy rate. In the history of our mortgages.
No decisions that get made are in a vacuum.
Right.
So when you adjust one thing, it's not just adjusting that one thing. It has reactions. And inflation is a result of low interest rates. So low interest rates are good on the front end, but often your extra buying power gets ate up with inflation.
Sure.
So, really a happy medium is where you want to be.
Yeah, definitely. And that 6% interest rate is $6 per thousand, and there's nothing wrong with that, when you're buying a property. As we finish up in our last couple of minutes here, what's some advice? Let's give some advice to a seller, and then let's talk about a buyer for a minute. But as a seller, so they're thinking about getting their house on the market. You said everybody has different time frames. They have different reasons for selling and, taking that move. What's a couple of the first things that they really should do? What's their first couple of steps for when they reach out to you guys, like just to get them started?
Sure.
Kind of figure that out.
I think it's really important to talk to a realtor early. I know a lot of times people they think about, well, I'm going to be selling my house in 6 months. So they start getting to work of, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to replace that or whatever. But oftentimes they end up doing things that don't really change the value of the house at all.
Okay.
So talking to a realtor early can let us help target you into the projects or the things that really need to be done and focus, the money that you're spending on things that are really going to give you value back rather than you pouring money in and it not making any difference in what you net from the sale.
Probably one of the bigger mistakes, not a mistake, just things that people miss doing probably, right?
Yep.
Because you guys know exactly what's going to drive to get them a little bit more money in that marketplace. So,
and also I would say too, especially if you're dealing with an agent who's really taken the time to find out what your goals are and what you're looking to do.
Sure.
The thing that most people do is they shop around real estate agents, and whoever gives them the highest price that they want to list it at, that's who they want to go with.
Right.
Which I understand that, but also your goals are important because if you price your house at the very top of the market and your goal is to be out in 30 days, that's not compatible.
Right.
And so, really lean in and trust your agent. If your agent listens to your goals and then throws out a number and you need that to be a different number, then we need to adjust other things to get you there. So
that's great advice. Yeah, because it's not always the highest number that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors to that. So give our buyers one good tip if they're ready to start looking and wanting to buy. What's the one thing that they should do first?
The one thing you should do first is talk to a lender.
Okay.
That is something that should happen really, best case scenario, 4 to 6 months before you're ready to buy.
Okay.
Because if something comes up that the lender sees that is going to be an issue or has to be taken care of, if you're right up against when your lease is up or when you need to buy a house, there's no time to correct that. But if you go 4 to 6 months out, you can really, work on those and get those where they need to be so that you're ready to buy when you actually want to buy.
That's some great advice. And we appreciate you being here today. I'm Jonathan Kraft of Crye-Leike Realtors here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Again, give a phone number for them to reach out to you at.
Sure. Our phone number is 423-473-9545. And whether you're a client or an agent looking for a new home, we're glad to help you out.
Thank you, Jonathan.
No problem. Thanks.
Do you imagine a career with flexibility and limitless income potential? It's possible by becoming a realtor. The River Counties Association of Realtors, located right here in Cleveland, Tennessee, is ready to help you unlock your potential. We're your go-to resource for guiding you to obtain your Tennessee real estate license. We're more than just realtors. We're a vital part of our community. Partnering with local charities, we work tirelessly to make a difference. Join the River Counties Association of Realtors today, where your career can thrive and community can too. Visit rivercounties.com or call 423-476-5912. Your new path awaits.